All right, let's dive into a traffic safety report out of Thiruvananthapuram that honestly paints a really startling picture of the daily commute. It shows us a world where the line between getting home safe and a total catastrophe is, well, it's frighteningly thin. You know, this whole story, with all its data and all its scary close calls, really boils down to just one single number. 1. That's it. 1 inch. And I want to be clear, that is not a metaphor. That's the actual, real-life, documented clearance in a high-speed near miss. Just think about that for a second. The difference between a normal day and a horrific accident can literally be the width of your thumb. And the thing is, this isn't some freak one-in-a-million event. The report shows this happens so often that it points to a system that's just constantly on the verge of breaking down. It's a pattern where the margin for error isn't just small, it's being measured in millimeters. So for our first stop, we're going to a major intersection in the city's IT corridor. The report calls it a critical pressure point, and that's the perfect way to put it. It's a place where all the safety systems are put to the test, and as we're about to see, where they often fail spectacularly. Okay, so what you're looking at here is a box junction. The idea is brilliant, really. Super simple. That yellow grid is designed to stop gridlock. The rule couldn't be easier. Don't drive into the box unless you know you can drive out of it. But, as the report makes painfully clear, that rule is almost completely ignored. And this is how that simple safety feature turns into a deadly trap. Just picture it. You're sitting there, stopped at a red light. A huge bus pulls up right next to you on the left, completely boxing you in. And then, a fuel tanker just decides to cut the corner, diagonally right across the junction, blocking any chance of escape to your right. Just like that, you're trapped. Nowhere to go. The report has a name for this. A locked conflict zone. I mean, that sounds intense, right? It's more than just bad traffic. It's a situation where you are physically locked in place by heavy machinery, and it robs you of any ability to react or get out of the way if something goes wrong. All right, now we're heading out of that intersection and onto the national highway. And out here, the problem isn't so much about being trapped, it's about pure, raw speed and aggression. To explain what's going on here, the report uses this incredible phrase, kinetic authority. What does that mean? Well, it's basically physics as a weapon. It's when the driver of a massive truck or bus uses the sheer size and momentum of their vehicle to bully smaller cars out of the way, as if the rules of the road just don't apply to them. So how does this kinetic authority actually play out? Well, the report gives us a perfect example. A private tour bus, doing 65 kilometers an hour, decides it wants to overtake another bus. And because that bus driver made that move, the driver of the camera vehicle was left with zero good options. They were forced to swerve completely off the paved road onto a dirt shoulder just to avoid a head-on collision. The choice was literally the ditch or a direct impact. The report has another description for a different kind of close call that is just so vivid. A truck passes so incredibly close, at 70 kilometers an hour, that it felt like it was airbrushing the side mirror. It almost sounds delicate, but can you imagine how terrifying that must feel? And just when you think that couldn't get any more reckless, you learn where it happened. This wasn't on some long, flat, straight road with perfect visibility. No, this happened while a truck was illegally overtaking by crossing solid lines on a blind upward climb. The driver had absolutely no idea what was coming over the crest of that hill. Okay, so we're leaving the highway now and diving right back into the dense city center. And here, the danger shifts again. It's less about high speed and more about just pure, unpredictable chaos. I mean, the list of incidents the report logged is just wild. You've got a scooter just pulling out of a school without even looking, an auto rickshaw yanking a sudden U-turn because a pedestrian jumped into the road to pick up a potato, a scooter with 3 people on it, one of them a child, and then a biker weaving between cars with that 1-inch clearance right in front of the police. But it's not even just about individual bad decisions. The report identifies this bizarre group behavior they call convoy movement. This is where you have multiple bikers moving together, making these synchronized lane changes. It looks less like people trying to get to work and more like an illegal street race just happening in the middle of traffic. So we've seen the traps, the aggression, the chaos. Let's zoom out now and look at what the report says is the real root of the problem, a deep, systemic culture of impatience. And this table just lays it all out crystal clear. You can see who's causing the most danger and how. Heavy commercial trucks? Extreme risk for just cutting across junctions. Buses, high risk for literally forcing people off the road. And look at two-wheelers, also high risk for things like that 1-inch filtering and those convoy movements. But what this all really points to is a fundamental breakdown. It's the idea that the most basic rules of the road, solid lines, box junctions, even red lights, are being treated not as laws, but as suggestions. And that leads to a pretty scary conclusion. It means that safety on the road isn't something guaranteed by the system anymore. It's become a moment-to-moment gamble that depends entirely on the few good drivers out there having reflexes fast enough to dodge the constant rule-breaking from everybody else. Which really leaves all of us with a final, pretty unsettling question to think about the next time we get in a car. In a world where the rules are seen as optional, is getting where you're going safely a result of your own skill, or is it just dumb luck?